right, so Salaki, as I was saying in the other video, as Esau scratches and claws his way to the top, he continues to slip into perdition, you know. And with that, he's moving with a certain urgency because he knows that that day is coming. So every day we draw closer, there's more anxiety, more fear, more a spirit of a pride that's coming over this devil. All right. And it's only getting worse. So let's see. It's a lot because the video keep cutting and I have to re-record the recorded corrupted video, which I repaired, and I just say, to hell with it. I'll just do it over, So just read Isaiah 14:5, Malachi 4:1. This is Malachi chapter 4, all right, verse 1, and it reads, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble." All right, and the day that cometh shall burn them up. So you think this ain't in Esau's mind? This is in his mind, man. And it's gonna be the worst judgment ever. It said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So this thing is going to root them up out of the earth forever for good. Okay? And we need permanence away from this devil. He need to be permanently put away because he brings no good. Moving on. Okay. Oh, verse 2 is good. Precept. So it says, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings." So this proves that we're going to be calling upon the name before he even comes with healing in his wings. Even before then, this proves that we have the name and that we're going to be calling upon that name. All right, despite what certain camps may say, you Israelites ain't gonna have no excuse in that time. You've been given ample time, and the men of the Lord have made it clear through the spirit and power, all right, of our Heavenly Father Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai, who He is without no doubt. All right. Okay, so let's continue. Wisdom of Solomon 4:18. Where is that? 14:18. 4:18. Okay. And it reads. It says, "They shall see him and despise him, but God shall laugh them to scorn. And they shall hereafter be a vile carcass, and a reproach among the dead forevermore. For he shall rend them and cast them down headlong," meaning they're going to fall, "that they shall be speechless, and he shall shake them from the foundations, and they shall be utterly laid waste and be in sorrow, and their memorial shall perish." All right. So he has this in mind every day, and he has the signs that's coming to pass every day, especially him being revealed, because they thought they were going to be able to hide themselves. Nope. Time is winding down and the walls are closing in. Okay. And I'm going to keep repeating that throughout the duration of this lesson. All right. When they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their face. All right. Let's see here. I think the next one is 5 and 5 and 14. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, verse 14. For the hope of the ungodly is like the dust, all right, that is blown away with the wind. Right, your hope, yeah, that's, your hope is hopeless. There ain't no security in it. So just like the dust is blown away, so is the wicked. That's a small thing. A little wind can come by and blow the dust, and that's really nothing, man. Like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed. So it's not going to be a hard thing for the Lord to do. And in fact, he's using you. He's using your pride against you, and the weapons that you made through your blessing, he's using it against you. All right. Here it says, which is dispersed here and there with a tempest and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day. But the righteous live forevermore. Okay. And he knows the day is coming where the righteous going to receive the promise. Their reward also is with the Lord. Right. And you can't take that reward away. We ain't gonna be able to, as the scriptures say, you ain't gonna be able to save to condemn, nor are you gonna be able to oppress those that have salvation. So he's wearied. Keep that in mind. He's wearied. Their reward is also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. See? Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. Why? Right, with strength. Okay? He shall take to him his jealousy for a complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. All right? So the creature is going to be his weapon for the revenge of his enemies, and mainly what? The children of Israel. All right? The children of Israel. Okay? The Lord is going to actually use them for his bidding. Okay? So let's continue. All right? Let me see if I have more. Let's see something. Sharpen it. Yep. Yeah, we can read a little bit more. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate and true judgment instead of a helmet. He shall take holiness for an invincible shield. Wow. Right. And that Esau had this thing where he was looking inside of it, and he was looking inside of it, and I guess it was, I forget the name of it exactly. Supposedly he was predicting the future, or he was looking inside something that was showing him his future, and every time he would or use it, it would show him the same fate. And I forget exactly what it was. I did a lesson on it. The elders did a lessons on it as well, but it kept showing him his fate. And with his and with that, basically, he knows he has no chance. He has absolutely no chance. And that right there, man, it says a lot, because we always knew that he was under pressure, but now we're seeing he's under real pressure, man. Call Loyam like Al Bashir Shah, man. Because if you thought that we were the only ones that under pressure, see, Esau's doing all he can to ignore it, but it's still there. And if you're worried about what's gonna happen to us, man, or what they're gonna do to us, you should worry less. Because nobody is gonna be able to withstand the wrath of the Lord's full wrath. And it says he's going to have basically invincibility. You know, if you knew like that your end was coming, you would become more frantic, especially if all you think about is power and all you think about is maintaining power and garnering power, and you continue to do it, and you become weary. You're wearying yourself, right? And you know that day is coming. Yeah, you for sure, you under a whole lot of pressure, man. You know, he's under a whole lot more pressure. All right, so Salakia. It says, his severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Right, the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds as from a well-drawn bow shall they fly to the mark. Right? So upon, even with the ICBMs and its total complete destruction, except those, or not counting the elite that's going to escape, you know, there's still going to be a dread. He's going to run to his hiding places. But the chariots are going to get busy too, man. You know, the chariots are going to get busy too. And he showed you in that movie, The World of War. Okay. You had Tom Cruise playing that movie, you know, and they had other movies. All right. They just had one with, what's his name? I don't know. I'm about to call him Craig on Friday, but, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I can't remember his name. All right. But yeah, man, that horrible movie that he just made, everybody, you know, said something about it, how horrible it was. All right, but again, just moving on, let's move on. It says, in the hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the floods shall cruelly drown them. Man, that's a crazy fate to have, man. Esau is in the most craziest position right now, you know, and we're not in a bad position, man, at all. You know, of course we got to go through this affliction, and it might seem daunting, it might even frustrate you at some points, but it's needed. You know, it's needed. So this is 2 Ezra 15:14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. The point is, verse 14, you know, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Okay, because time is a ticking. All right, time is a ticking. And guess what this devil is doing? He's making his war against the saints for a final last time. All right. And he's been, of course, it ain't the only time he's been making war against the saints. You know? For the ungodly was Solomon 2:1, and I'm going to jump. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, all right, but not aright, our life is so short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Right, it ain't fix it. You can't fix it. You can't fix death. All right, and he's racing to fix death. You see, he's in a race towards, you know, fixing his demise, and he know that everybody meets that demise, and nobody can get over that. You know, and there's only one, the firstborn up from the dead, which is Yahweh Shai. That's it. Right? And he had eternal power. He sit at the right hand side of the Father. All right. And he's going to give that eternal power to what? His servants. All right. And in the death of a man, there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. So you think they not in the spirit of urgency to tap into a more immortality through, their technology? They're in a place in time right now where they have no choice, especially because what their desires consist of is them living forever. That's what they want. So they're in between a hard place, man. And that's why they're doing this. Verse 10, chapter 2, verse 10, Wisdom of Solomon. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Right? He has no mercy. Right? Point here, it says, let our strength be the law of justice. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. So they're at a point where they're forwarding mischief by law, not even, using the law that is the way it's supposed to be used, right? To fast forward their agenda. They say, to hell with it. We're not going to stick to the tradition of the law, which is equity, and which they never have. They never obeyed the law themselves, but they imposed it on everyone else. But they're saying now, let us use this law to go after the poor. All right? For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. All right? Case in point, there's no due process. Due process, you're proven innocent until proven guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty. Now, this devil is just saying, to hell with it, lock them up as long as we want. You're already guilty in their eyes. All right? You're already guilty because they know what time it is. That's why they're treating Jake in the manner that they treating Jake, and get used to it. Get it in your mind that, no, you're not going to have a fair chance with this devil. That's why we need salvation. Okay? Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with the offending the law, with our offending the law. You see? And objected to our infamy, the transgressings of our education. Yeah, we let them know that they are completely off. They're physicians of no value. They add no value to the world. They only take and destroy. The thief has come not but to steal, kill, and destroy, roughly paraphrasing. And the Lord said he'd come that he might bring life, roughly paraphrasing. All right? He professed to have the knowledge of God, and he called himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold, for his life is not like other men. His ways are of another fashion. See? So they're in a place where they're in great grief because of the truth. The walls is closing in on this man, and he can't help it but be the devil in the last stretch. You see? He can't help it but to cheat at the last stretch. Okay? He's a loser. All right? He's a freaking loser. And nobody can help him. Not even you Negroes. You can't save him. Let me see what this last one says. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 8.